This video is being published for the IJA Video Tutorial Contest 2014.
Hey guys, Dawn here. Today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to clean your balls. As you can see, there's a big difference in kind of how dirty my balls really are. They're all very different. I have 3 G9s and a Deku ball. They're all a little bit gross. You can tell this one's quite new, but it still has some spots of dirt on it from traveling. This one's the dirtiest of all. It hasn't been cleaned for a while. Buddy, my best friend, he has some tape on him. I was afraid to clean him because I'm afraid it's going to come off, but I decided I'm going to glue it back on later. And this is probably the newest of balls. It has a few paint marks on it. They're quite slight, but it does make my ball quite dull. I did wash it last week, so we'll see how they all turn out. The G9 balls have a little hole in them, so they kind of flatten out, and you have to be careful to make sure not to get water inside your balls. I've poked this one. As you can see, it has a tiny flat spot in it because when it goes on the airplane, it shrunk and squished inside of itself. I did boil it and I put it in some rice as per conversation with Brian. Brian and I talked about how to fix the problem of the balls when they get sucked inside themselves. And that's the way we did it. We boiled them, we put them in rice to make sure that the water escapes from them so that they don't rot from the inside out. So that's a little bit of information about the balls that I'm using to start. And first we're just going to do some basic cleaning. Kind of like you're doing the dishes. You just basically wash your balls. We'll start with the cleanest one first, getting the paint off. Now I use a little scrubby here just for a little bit of texture because that paint needs a bit of elbow grease to get off. So you scrub it off really well to get those scratch marks from the paint out from your ball. If it does require a lot of effort to get some of the dirt off, I recommend a nail brush. However, be careful with that. That will also scratch your ball. Okay, so this ball has a few deep scratches and there's nothing I can do about that, in fact. Now this ball is dirty and stained. As you can see, it's got little orange marks on it, and that's from being stored with other balls that I have, the Renegade balls. There's nothing you can do if your balls are stained. I apologize. You're just going to have to clean it as best as you can, and generally speaking, it becomes just your practice ball. So, as you can see, my newest ball and my oldest ball, well, I'm not going to get this back to this color. That's fair enough. The stains really do make a big difference. There's nothing I can do to get that off. So we're just going to have to use it as a practice ball from now on. Buddy's happier, I think. As you can see, I've washed these balls and it doesn't make too much of a difference, but you can see the color gradient change. So this is the newest ball. Buddy is the second newest ball, and this one's the oldest ball. Each one of these balls was bought in a different year, so I buy a new stage ball every year. I do this because of this color change, which Janine balls do tend to have. Also, if you put these balls up to the light, you can kind of see that they start to develop little cracks on the inside of the ball. This just comes with time with the Janine balls. I'm not sure that there's anything you can do about it. It just happens to be part of the way that the ball is created. So the color changing happens over time. Obviously, it is a big difference, and this ball's almost a year old. I bet if I had a new ball, you would really be able to see the color difference. Obviously, with the Deku ball, I've had it looks like numbers printed on it a little bit, which don't seem to be coming off with normal soap and water, so I'm going to use the nail brush. My poor Deku ball has some spots now. Okay, so here are my newly cleaned stage balls. They do look better, but looks aren't the only reason you want to clean your balls. One of the reasons is because the amount of times you drop it and all of the dirt and bacteria that's on the ground. I mean, if you think about like you're throwing it up to your face, rolling it around all over your body, you're touching it. You really want to make sure that these balls are clean, basically because otherwise you're going to have unhygienic balls. And we want to make sure that we keep our balls clean for this reason, because it's going to transfer dirt and bacteria everywhere we go. So I recommend washing your balls about at least once a week, if not more, depending on how much you use them for practice and where you store them. If you store them in your backpack, I don't know what's been in your backpack, but you want to be careful about what you put with your balls. Obviously some things can stain them, as with my oldest ball here, and you have the orange spots that you can't get out. With the Deku ball, some of the print materials that were standing with it obviously came off of it. It might have been a book in my bag. I'm not exactly sure, but these things do come off and will stain your balls eventually, and you want to make sure to keep it either wrapped or in a clean, dry place so that you're not transferring bacteria or other staining objects onto your ball. So cleaning your acrylic balls is a slightly more delicate manner. So these balls haven't been cleaned since the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Poor little guys. I haven't been playing with them since then, to be fair. They have a few dings on them from hitting pavement, and those kinds of cracks I'm not going to get out. But for the minor little scratches, we can sort of polish them out. What you want to do is use a clean, dry, soft cloth and a little bit of toothpaste. Put the toothpaste on the cloth and start rubbing your balls with the toothpaste to make sure that you get an even coat all around the ball. Oh, I used way too much. Now I've got all kinds of white gunk on my balls. Okay, so we want to get a nice even coating of toothpaste all around your ball. This is way too thick. You just want a nice sort of even coating, kind of like you would use on your teeth. And you want to use a circular motion with the cloth to be able to rub it off, and moving around the ball, polishing it ever so slightly all the way around. You don't want to go too hard on any one spot, or you might make a flat spot on the ball and your balls will never recover. So you want to try and use some pressure to make sure that you're polishing them well, but you don't want to rub them flat. So as I use my cloth, I tend to start to gravitate away from the original spot where I had a lot of toothpaste and start going into the drier spots of my towel to start wiping the toothpaste actually off the ball, just so that the polish gives it a nice shine. Twisting, rubbing the ball gently, making sure that you touch every part of the ball so that there's no uneven spots, and making sure that you don't create any flat spots by focusing on one spot too much. Making sure that you touch it nicely all over the ball, evenly, going to the dry spots in the towel until they're sort of all the toothpaste is gone off the balls, and then you give it a good rinse. Now when I'm finishing, I use a different towel as to make sure that I don't get any of the white stuff on the ball after I'm done. You kind of want to, again, use a bit of pressure, drying them and polishing them at the same time, making sure that they're nice and clean and that you've gotten all of the blemishes off the ball. The murky, unclear kind of ball and a bit more shiny and clear ball. Having clear balls is going to help you with your isolations, and just generally speaking, it's nice and professional to make sure that you have clean balls. Having nice shinier balls gives you a more confident and professional stage presence. I would say the same for both stage balls and acrylics. Making sure that you have good, clean balls really makes a big difference to your performance. If your balls are old and kind of stained and colored from age, I would recommend replacing them with newer balls so that you appear as a little bit more polished and a little bit more ready when you're professionally on stage. Otherwise, I think that's everything. Thanks for watching my video, and you guys have a great day.
Okay, so I'm back. It's been a number of months since I recorded the first version of this video, but I wanted to tell you that I got new balls. Yay! These ones are clay stage balls, 130 millimeters. I'm a big fan. As you can see, they're nice and shiny, and I've had them about 6 months now. And I want to thank this simple sack where I hold my balls. It makes sure that there's no dust and crud that's getting on them. Of course, when I play with them, I get a little bit of dirt on them outside and that kind of thing. But for the most part, this is a savior for keeping it nice and shiny, so that they don't get little scratches in the way that you travel with them. Because they're all the same color, they don't bleed into each other. If you want to keep your balls nice, this is the way to go, keeping them in a nice sack that keeps them from touching anything else that might harm them. I got another sack for my acrylic balls, and of course a nice new set of acrylics. Ooh. I got 8. These ones are the really nice ones. I also have a set of busking ones that aren't quite as nice, but in this sack, as long as I don't drop them on pavement, they seem to be really nice. And the thing about whatever you hold them in, you have to make sure it has a protective layer underneath so that the zipper doesn't touch the ball, because the zipper might harm the ball as well. Making sure there's a layer between the balls and the zipper is really important for whatever you keep. And this sack in particular I like because I can put it on, and when I'm doing performances, I can pull the balls out as I like. At the moment, they're storing all of them, which makes it a little bit bulky in the back, but it is a really simple little trick so that I can both store them and pull out a ball from the back of my dress at any point in time. So keeping a nice, awesome sack to keep your balls in is probably the best way to go off the top. Minimizes the cleaning needed for your balls and makes sure that they're protected. That's it. Thanks very much. Again, have a great day.